Welcome to ISE's FX Options Weekly Outlook, a weekly outlook on the US dollar versus the major currencies, hosted by Jason Ayres, a top industry instructor and founder of OptionSource.net. Learn to trade your views on the strength or weakness of the US dollar.
Hello and welcome to the ISE FX Options Outlook for August 23rd, 2008. This is your host, Patrick Sresna. We're going to start off by looking at the weekly US dollar index. Over the months of April to July, we've had some important consolidation down in the 71-72 focal area, and subsequently at the start of July we started a rally that has seen the US dollar index rally all the way to our 77-78 focal area on the upside. At this stage, with us at least stalling here last week at this level, it is quite probable that we're going to see some sideways consolidation, if not some healthy backfilling on this US dollar index, is so long as the pullback is contained by the 74.75 price area. The bullish outlook on the US dollar index will stay intact. If we do find support down in these levels and subsequently over the next couple of weeks consolidate, it opens the window for a rally that may go all the way up into this 80-82 area on the upside. If we do see a breakdown in the price action that goes below the 74 level, at that point we would start to have an outlook that would be a little bit more bearish, but at this point we don't expect that to be the outcome. To start off here by looking at the US dollar versus the Canadian. 2 weeks ago we had some important testing of the 106.5 to 107 focal point on the upside, and we anticipated there to be some backfilling on the downwards move as we do a little bit of a consolidation of the rally that we've seen. Now, whether this consolidation ends here around this 104 to 104.5 area, or whether it actually continues down to a much more natural 102.5 to 103 focal point for the consolidation, ultimately we do anticipate that the resolution of this will be with a continuation rally higher. So the one thing that I want to bring out and point out is that if we look at the MACD here, the MACD has had a bearish crossover on the downside, and even though technically many people use that as an entry on the downside, I would just continue to be suspect of this kind of a MACD crossover, as this is probably nothing more than just a little bit of backfilling before the primary trend or the continuation of the primary trend to the upside continues. Now we have the US Euro dollar currency pairing here, as we had a rally that went up all the way into the 68-69 focal point on the upside, and now we've started a little bit of US dollar backfilling after such a significant rally in this currency pair. At this stage, this selling here most likely will go all the way down to the 66-66.50 area, where it would be very natural for it to pull back there. But whether it goes there or even if it continues all the way down to the 64.5, 65 area, overall the big picture remains bullish for the US dollar, with an ultimate resolution from wherever it finally consolidates with a rally on the upside. The one thing that we just want to point out as well on the MACD here, that's very close to a potential MACD rollover on the downside. Continue to be suspect of that as a potential sell signal, as the sell-off here may only be a 1 cent or so on the downside before it finds some sort of important support level and continues on the upside. So there is potential for that to be a false signal. Now here we have a chart of the US dollar British pound currency pairing. We have a little bit of a technical breakout on the upside from Friday's price action, but ultimately it is up in that 54.50 focal point on the upside, which ultimately we do believe the currency will stall up here. At this point we do expect there to be a little bit of backfilling on the downside here, also on the US dollar against the pound. We do anticipate at minimum a consolidation down up to this 52.5 to 53 focal point on the downside, but that doesn't rule out even deeper selling or consolidation all the way down to 51.50. Even though we don't anticipate it to go down that far, we do expect some sort of consolidation that may take several weeks in duration to play out, but ultimately the resolution should be on the upside with a continuation of this trend. Now we're looking at the US dollar yen currency pairing here. The US dollar versus the yen did a little bit consolidation as 110 to 110.5 area for a better part of a week and a half or so. We did have a technical breakdown. I tested this 108 to 108.5 area with a very sharp reversal back on the upside. At this point, we cannot rule out the possibility of an extended rally higher, even up to the 113 area, 113.5. But more than likely, the resolution here will be some continued consolidation in this range between 110 to 108. And we certainly can't rule out a deeper consolidation, which may even go testing the 105 to 106 on the downside. At this point, if the US dollar does do a broader consolidation, then expecting the yen to follow suit with a little bit of a pullback is certainly expected. This concludes our ISE FX options outlook for August 23rd, 2008. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you for participating in this week's session. Please join us again next week. For more information about Jason Ayres and to sign up for free FX options trade alerts, just visit www.optionsource.net. To learn more about ISE FX options, including our weekly webinar series, visit us at www.ise.com/fx. ISE FX options can easily be traded through all options-enabled brokerage accounts. These exchange-listed securities are cash-settled in US dollars and have a European-style exercise.